breath holding practices allow us a very easy access to a simple yet very effective training tool. As you can imagine, this journey is not going to be easy. That is why we need to be smart in the way we expose ourselves to challenge. So we are going to take the surfer's approach at learning something hard, which is progressive and playful exposure to challenge. Later in the course, or in any case in the training program, if you decide to start training with me long term, you're going to see how every exercise has a progression. My intention is not to break you. My intention is to teach you the ideal stepping stone, the ideal next step for you. All right? So stay with me. I hope you're excited. So now that we are aware that the journey is not going to be easy, some additional tips that will help you to keep walking when going through hell. One of these little insights is to create a third-person perspective. Okay, this is basically create a character, could be actually a stronger version of you, who you want to eventually become, a character that is always watching you, particularly when you're going through difficult situations, a character that you want to make proud. Okay, you're not only doing this for you, but you're doing this, you're gonna learn to navigate through discomfort to make that person proud. That is going to help. Another important trick, insight, is to never argue with reality. If you suddenly find yourself in a challenging scenario, or in the case of training, a challenging exercise, don't argue with it. Don't develop adversity to what you're going through, but rather accept it, embrace it, and make a point in playing your best game when dealing with the particular situation. Also, through time, start developing the skill, the ability to pay attention to the bidirectional influence between mind and body. How your thoughts, emotions, perceptions of reality affect your body, and how your body, actions, levels of tension, motions, postures affect your mind. It is fascinating. So of course, over time, you're going to start polishing this interaction and start using it in the best way for you. Also, become mindful and aware of your inner dialogues, that mental chatter, and only start allowing the mental chatter that allows you to, that makes you stronger. Any mental chatter that makes you weaker is not allowed in the house. So do make a point in starting to recognize what inner dialogues are the good ones, are the good friends, and which ones are not. And to finish, I want you to be aware that presence blocks worry. Presence, being present in the moment, will block anticipation, will block anxiety, and eventually potential panic. How to stay present whenever putting in practice any of the techniques we've already talked about, really make a point at sticking to them. If it's time to relax, you make a point in sticking to your relaxation technique. If you're already feeling physical discomfort and you're putting your phrase in practice, make a point in focusing on your phrase. If you are underwater dealing with a wipeout, make a point in having strong anchors, like in my case, paying attention to the water turbulence, that will help you stay present in the moment. It's a very simple way to exit your mind and enter the moment. Needless to say that all the insights I've shared with you to this point need a training session to be practiced, or need a challenge to be practiced. You should actually start finding moments in the day-to-day to start testing them out. For example, you can work on practicing relaxation when you're lying in bed or lying on a hammock. Work on practicing or work on presence whilst walking in the park or in the office, or actually making a point in distinguishing mental chatter when you're at work. Just to inspire you with a few scenarios. Every single time you go surfing, you should be putting these things in practice. Hey, what helps me relax better when I'm on surfing? What helps me block anxiety during a wipeout? Start trying things out. See what works and what doesn't. And over time, you're going to start finding the real gold that works for you. Now, of course, another breath hold. We want to practice the breath hold journey one more time, putting all these amazing new insights in practice. To give you a little refresher, after your inhalation, after your last breath, you're going to focus on a relaxation technique. As you notice discomfort starting to appear, you're going to shift onto a short and repetitive phrase. You're going to do your best to spot inner mental chatter that could potentially break you, and you're going to make a point, do your best to remain present in the moment, to exit your mind, to be in the moment, because being in the moment blocks anxiety, it blocks anticipation, it blocks worry, which are potential gates to panic. So without more to say, 3, 2, 1, deep breath in, and start your next breath hold. Good luck. So how did this last breath hold go? Were you able to test the different insights? I know there is a lot of information. It is a lot of information to digest on a single session. So don't be afraid if you weren't able to practice all of them effectively. Maybe some of you are still figuring out what a good relaxation technique is for you. No stress, just focus on entering a deep relaxation state. Maybe some of you you've already found your ideal relaxation technique, and you're already starting to polish your repetitive phrase, but are not being able to remain present in the moment, but you're starting to notice this. Great. It doesn't really matter. Okay, right now, my main intention is to make you aware of all the different tools that you can play with, that are actually inner resources you can use when walking through hell, when dealing with storms. All right? I know that in real life scenarios, there won't be space to use all of them, but the more familiar we get with these tools in our practice, in safe places, the easier it is going to be to apply them when it most matters. So right now, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just make a point in recognizing the different insights I am sharing with you and do your best to put them in practice. But by now, you should not expect perfection. Okay? This is a journey that is going to take a while, so I hope you enjoy it. So with this last breath hold, consider the most important foundations, most important theory of our education system covered. There are some additional topics that I definitely recommend watching. Not necessarily now, but when you feel ready to absorb more information. My recommendation now is to jump straight into your breathing and breath holding practices on dry and go back to watch this additional theory when you feel it's the right moment for you.